Coming up, Honey, Honey, How It Thrills Me. The Dancing Queens are back. Mamma Mia returns to Broadway. Then we speak with Judy Craymer, the real-life Dynamo who started it all. Hello, I'm Pacheco. Welcome to Theater All the Moving Parts. We're kicking off a new season with an exciting announcement. Theater All the Moving Parts will now air twice a month with new episodes every second and fourth Fridays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And you can always find us on YouTube. Now let's get to what you really came here for. Mamma Mia is back, a musical that began as the challenging idea of marrying the catalog of ABBA hits to a mother-daughter story on a Greek isle, and grew into an international phenomenon. And joining us are the Dynamos. Christine Sherrill as Donna Sheridan, a single mother prepping a daughter's wedding while juggling a former love triangle. Jalynn Steele as Tanya, the stylish divorcee still finding romance around every corner, and Carly Sakolove as Rosie, the lovable, quick-witted clown of the group. Beams are gonna blind me. Welcome, Jalynn, Christine, and Carly to Theater All the Moving Parts. I think of Mamma Mia as a turbocharged pleasure delivery machine. Ooh. And you are and you are three of the show's greatest pleasures.
Aww.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Before you were cast, how aware were you of the term the Mamma Mia factor?
That is the first time I've heard that term.
Same. Me as well.
I'm intrigued.
Yes, we want to know all about it.
At the very beginning, the creative team described the Mamma Mia factor in terms of casting was the first order was a willingness to be silly. No gym-obsessed body beauties need apply. Larger-than-life personalities.
Oh, my goodness.
And authenticity.
Oh, wow. Yes. I have never heard that. My audition would have been so much better.
Exactly.
You embody it, Christine.
Yes,
So talk a little bit
definitely.
about how you were cast and what you think was your greatest virtue in terms of nailing the Mamma Mia factor.
Oh my goodness. I think I do remember being in callbacks with Christine and telling myself, just go there. Just really just let go, have fun, and go there. And thankfully, she was a great scene partner to do it with.
What do you think, Christine?
Wow, I'm just still so fascinated by it. Yes, I left that callback. No, I didn't know where I stood for quite a while, but I left that callback knowing that Jalynn would be Tanya.
Aww.
Having played Tanya before, she came into the room and she had this gorgeous, larger-than-life presence, and then was able to be funny. So a lot of what you're talking about. And I think what's making our show here in New York is that we have captured that, the cast, right? Did you mention vulnerability, did you say?
I didn't, but I think it's a good one.
I would add that in there.
I think it's a good one to add. And in what way was Rosie vulnerable, and in what way were you able to capture that vulnerability?
Well, Rosie is described as a clown and the comic relief. Be funny and say the lines that are written, but what really gets people to love Rosie is the vulnerability. I have tried very hard in this iteration to find her truth and what are the things that makes Rosie a real person. She is terrified of being rejected by men and by her friends, and she she uses humor to cover it up. And so I feel like this time around I've been able to really find what makes her grounded and find what makes her a real person. And people have given me feedback that they really saw themselves or their friends in my version of Rosie, which is important. But also, you gotta be the clown. I mean,
they took a chance on y'all.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yes, they did.
One of the things I was impressed with when I saw it, twice actually since you started previews and on opening night, is just how physical your performances are.
Yeah.
The question is, how precise are they? How much do they leave room for improvisation?
Oh man, one of the I would say funnest parts.
funnest.
I'm going to say funnest. The parts of the show is running to the window and hearing whenever she says her line for us to clear up and jump off onto the bed and onto the
Floor for me.
I think what we're talking about is the bedroom scene, right?
Yes.
When Donna is down in the dumps and you come to cheer her up and you sing Chiquitita and
Yes.
Dancing Queen.
Yes.
The best.
And the camaraderie is fantastic. And then another aspect of the Mamma Mia factor is that in recasting the roles that have been played for decades by different casts and 2 films, they didn't want clones. So obviously you are not cloning anything you've seen. How have you sort of individuated each of your performances? Christine, let's start with you because you, as you said, you played Tanya in 2006.
Yeah.
And were you always itching to play Donna? And
I never thought about it until they called me in for the Vegas company.
and you have 3 sons.
I do. I have
You're
3
a mother?
sons. So I definitely approach a lot of the storytelling as a mother.
And the tempo of the show, really, and it started with Judy Craymer, the producer, listening to Winter Takes It All over and over and over again with the ABBA songbook. You kick ass with that song.
Oh,
Thank you.
yes.
Right.
Yes,
She
yes,
does.
yes, she does.
Do you summon a different energy, different version each time it comes to that moment in the show?
My approach to that song is more about self-victory than anything. I'm really singing it to myself. I mean, there may be a few casting directors, but it really is, it is to myself. And for me, it's about my perseverance. It's about my commitment to living a balanced life, which when I first set out on this career, that was the most important thing to me, is having a balanced life. I wanted a family, I wanted a home, I wanted lots of dogs. You know what I mean? Lots, as many animals as I could get. It's about perseverance and looking out for your goals and winning at whatever is most important to you.
Jalynn have one of the most funny moments in the show with Justin Sutter.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes, yes.
I mean, you are the cougar to end all cougars.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
he's awfully young. He
He
looks
is
awfully young.
He has such a baby face. He's older than you think, but he has such a baby face. Yes.
But the question is, isn't all of acting an act of seduction?
Jalynn and I talked about this before, having both played Tanya.
Oh, yeah.
That you can't really be
can't be
Tanya,
Tanya.
and play Tanya.
Yes.
Exactly.
Oh,
Explain that.
So Jalynn is very far from being a Tanya.
It's so true.
I am
believe
at
it, but it's
home in some sweats, some hokas, and a ball cap.
Yes.
Give me that any day, and I
Yes.
am. That is how I live my life. Let
Yes.
me tell you. But the part. If you're too Tanya and you're doing Tanya, it kind of like it makes it a little too much.
You have to be able to make fun of yourself.
Yes, exactly.
It's also staying away from stereotypes, and that it's very easy for us to
fall into that.
stereotypes with the script, which is beautifully crafted script.
Yeah.
But it's very easy to say she's the cougar, she's the well-rounded mom, and she's the funny one. Like we have all
of those aspects, each and every one of us.
Your character of Tanya was inspired in part by Black actors of the past.
Yes.
Was it
yes,
not?
Yes, definitely.
Does that get a spin?
I get
in
a little
Tanya?
bit of Jasmine Guy in there. I don't know if you know Jackie Harry, but
Who does not know Jackie?
Tanya, especially being the first Black full-time Broadway Tanya. I sort of taken a little bit from each one of those people that inspired me when I was growing up, and seeing them on TV and seeing them, you know, sort of break the glass ceilings in what they were doing. So I bring a little bit of that. I bring my mom. I bring, you know, all of my inspirations with me as I go out on stage. And then I try to, you know, make something new, a little piece of Jalynn in there as well. So
did you invent much with Rosie? And were you inspired by other people, other idols that you may have had to bring to Rosie?
I know this sounds crazy, but I really bring a lot of my mother into Rosie.
Really? Tell us about her.
Well, Scotty Sakolove is a very special woman. She was, she's a performer herself. I mean, she never went to a professional level, but she always wanted to perform in some way, and she's certainly a showman.
Oh, yes.
Well, I mean, her AOL screen name is Showgirl 218. And we're not talking Vegas. But she is, you know, she's funny. She's fun. She tells it, when I say she tells it like it is, she just doesn't even think. She just says it.
Yes.
You know, sometimes it gets her in trouble. But, you know, she's unapologetically herself. And I think that is the basis of my Rosie. You know, maybe there might be some Jennifer Coolidge in there. Who knows? I don't know. Certain inspirations.
You mentioned something. Jalynn, you've gone through a lot of changes in the last 20 months. You mentioned your mother. What was her name?
Jalynn Steele.
Jalynn Steele. And also your father.
Yes,
of course.
Jonathan.
You lost your father at the beginning of the tour.
Yes, I
and
did.
being in this show must have helped you get through that loss. You never can get through it.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to try to hold it back. But these ladies were here for me whenever I lost him. And so just being able to have that experience and to have that bond with them, I know he's looking down.
And very
me
proud.
night after night. Yeah, night after
very-
night, definitely.
And she came to work that
And
night.
I sure
She
did.
came to work.
I came to
Like
work.
in true Jalynn style.
And mostly because I know my dad, and I know he would have been like, you go and you do what you love. And that's exactly, you know, what I did for him. And so just to be able to have that and him be a part of not only this show, but be a part of my life and my memory of him being kind of intertwined with this as well. It's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing, and it's
Yeah.
the roller coaster of a career, and it's so great that you've arrived at this point in your lives at this moment. One of the most beautiful things about this show is that it is not only the 25th anniversary of Mamma Mia, it also marks 25 Broadway debuts in this show.
Yeah.
What does that do for the morale of a company?
25 Broadway debuts is something, I don't know how long we'll be able to ride that, but right now it feels endless.
Beautiful thing.
And
Endless
it
energy.
includes your Broadway debut
Yes.
and Carly's Broadway
Yes, yes.
debut. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank you for joining us. This was so much fun, like the show you're in.
Yeah.
And I would ask you if you would, just as a treat for our viewers, seduce them by singing I Have a Dream.
Oh.
What do you think?
Okay, ready?
Okay.
We haven't done this before.
know,
It's our
we haven't.
debut.
Yes.
Okay.
I have a dream, a song to sing, to help me cope with anything. If you see the wonder of a fairy tale, you can take the future, even if you fail. I believe in angels, something good in everything I see. I believe in angels when I know the time is right for me. I'll cross the stream. I have
to get an
need to
arrangement.
do it
Yeah. Watch out, 54 below. We're coming for you.
Now I'm in floods. Thank you so much.
Yay! Thank you. This was fun.
That was great. That was a sweet little idea.
Still ahead, our conversation with Judy Craymer, the creative force behind the Mamma Mia phenomenon. Welcome, Judy, to Theater All the Moving Parts, and welcome back to Broadway. I saw the show last night, and it is as fun and terrifically warm and wonderful, and it's as if you never said goodbye. What made it right to come back to Broadway 8 years after you closed a 14-year run on Broadway?
I felt that when we closed on Broadway that we never were really saying goodbye, that Broadway always wanted us back. I didn't know when or how, so it seems the perfect time. It's a kind of celebration of 25 years ago, and she keeps going.
She keeps going is right. You know, I've dined out a lot on your origin story since we met many, many years ago. And I always sort of tell it to people around a dinner table or whenever we get together. I said there was this woman, Judy Craymer, who had this wacky idea to do this musical to the ABBA songbook. And, you know, she didn't have all that much money, so she sold her small flat, borrowed up the wazoo, I think, went totally into hock in order to pursue this dream of hers. What possessed you?
Well, I really believed in what I wanted to achieve with Mamma Mia, which was to create an original story, an original book musical using the fabulous ABBA songs. And at the time, ABBA wasn't as popular as they are now.
No, they were even, it was not
So even
cool.
ABBA was, you know, Benny Andersson and Bjorn Ulvaeus, the composers were like, you know, are you crazy? And everyone was a bit like, are you crazy? But I really believed in it, and I didn't have any money, and so I had a huge overdraft, I had a huge mortgage, so I sold up, and that kind of got me to the next stage, which was to bring on the creative team and to start working seriously. I mean, I couldn't really ask. Benny and Bjorn were like, if you can get it right, we will allow you to have the rights, but I couldn't really ask them for a tenner, could I really? Yeah.
Well, you probably could have,
I could,
but you
yeah.
didn't.
No, I didn't.
With good reason. And you knew Benny and Bjorn. You had met them when you were an assistant to Tim on Chess, right? What did you make of them when you met them initially?
Well, you know, ABBA had just disbanded. It was 1982. I was working for Tim Rice as his production assistant in London. So it was incredible because they were still kind of ABBA as far as I was concerned. And so I think my first job was to meet Bjorn from the airport. And so I've known them nearly 40 years. We've been friends ever since. I think if I hadn't known them and met them, and for those early Chess years, I worked for 5 to 7 years with them, I wouldn't have really got to where I am. They would never have let me through the door to take those songs and create a musical.
And it was always a tentative agreement, right? They were just going to allow you to do it as you went through the various steps of the development. They could always pull out.
Yeah, they could always pull out. I don't think people understand. There was never an agreement. It was the sword of Damocles over my head all the time because, Judy, if it goes wrong, if it doesn't work, you know, it's not happening.
Very early on, you described it before you had this idea, or around the time that you had the idea, that you were, quote unquote, living your very sad life in your little flat, obsessively listening to ABBA songbook. Take us to that moment.
Yeah, I suppose flippant that I had a sad life. I was listening to ABBA all the time. Actually, I didn't. Yeah, no, I had a great life. I had no money, but I drove my neighbors crazy listening to ABBA.
And the song that gave you the tempo, at least the tempo for the musical, was, I believe, Winner Takes It All, right?
Yeah,
that was the one that you kind of said, yeah, I think this is theatrical. I think this may do it.
Winner Takes It All was always the way in for me.
Rules must be obeyed. The judges will decide. The likes of me abide. spectators at the show, stay in love.
I just felt it had that kind of anger, it had that emotion, and I think the way it's portrayed on the stage and the way Meryl Streep did in the first movie is, it is a conversation. It's a conversation you are having with someone that's betrayed you, someone that's let you down.
What's extraordinary about the women that you brought together for this grand experiment, and boy was it an experiment, is both with Katherine Johnson, who wrote the book, and with Phyllida Lloyd, who became the director eventually, is that Katherine had never written a musical before. Phyllida came out of the opera world, classical theater world, and here you were sort of presenting them with this fizzy, fun musical. Were you operating on instinct, intuition, and how much of your right brain went into your decisions?
Yeah, very much instinct and intuition. And also because people didn't believe, they couldn't understand what Mamma Mia was. If you did understand it, you got the job kind of thing. So Katherine and I did, I said to her, it's got to be a story about, a wedding, a holiday, a romance, but it's also got to be about a breakup, and it's got to be, celebratory. So she said, literally, we're having a kind of sandwich in London somewhere. I don't even know how we could pay for the sandwich, we were so poor. And she said, mother, daughter, and I was like, you're in. And then 3 possible dads, and it built from there. And then Phyllida, who is a very serious director, just got it straight away. And I think we have been, our DNA in the empowerment of the story is very much in Mamma Mia, and that's, the huge appeal with female audiences.
Well, girl power.
Yeah,
you
definitely.
kind of mind girl power. You turbocharged girl power. At that time, it wasn't that typical to have an all-women's team.
I think we were the first and only then. So I'm thrilled for the women that follow us in theatre that we've definitely broken that glass ceiling.
And you've described yourself as a soft feminist, which means what to you?
Well, I'm very much a feminist, but, I don't kind of dance. Of course I am, I empower women. I feel, that's a job that I do. But, I also have a frivolous side, it's not all about, and I think what is great about Mamma Mia, it's about strong women, but it's not political in any sense. It's like you can just believe and you can see everyone. I think the appeal, and that's, the appeal for me and being a feminist, is everyone can see themselves in those characters.
I think Pierce Brosnan, who played Sam, obviously, in the film, the first film, described you as absolutely fabulous, but also formidable. So are you a Dina or Patsy from Absolutely Fabulous?
Oh, I'm definitely a mix of those two. Well, I'm Tanya, really, and that goes back to the fact, but actually I haven't had 3 husbands. But it's mainly to do with the fact that I'm high maintenance and I have a lot of luggage whenever I travel. So we became, Katherine, Phyllida, and myself, we thought we became those characters, but we'd swap every now and again. Katherine's always been Rosie, Phyllida, Donna, and me, Tanya, so we'll stick with that. And in fact, a journalist in London called us, Phyllida was rigorous, Katherine was bubbly, and I was stylish. So
Stylish.
Stylish.
And formidable.
A stylish feminist.
Another bold decision that you made and stuck to when it came to the films is that you insisted on yourself as the producer, Katherine as the screenwriter, and Phyllida Lloyd as the director, and you must have gotten a lot of pushback because they had never done a movie before, but you stuck to your guns.
Yeah, that was my feminist moment coming out. Yeah, no, I stuck to my guns and I was right, but I was very supported by Universal Pictures in that by Donna Langley, because they're very keen to have Mamma Mia as a movie, and that was the only way. And I felt to keep the special ingredients, to have that whatever happened in the theatre had to happen with the film. And so to keep Catherine Phillida and myself together was paramount.
And you had Meryl Streep in your back pocket, or did you have Meryl Streep in your back pocket by that time?
And Meryl Streep was definitely top of our list. And I think that Meryl really liked working with the original architects. I think that was great for her. She adored working with Phillida, and well, all of us, she had big ambitions for it. We had all our music department. She felt, so we always joked, and that we'd have a T-shirt made saying we were in before Meryl, because once Meryl said yes, everybody said yes, which was great.
Was there any hesitation for a sequel? Did you have any hesitation at all for a sequel?
We had no idea that it would be a sequel. I mean, it seemed to be a dream to me that there would be one day. Again, going back 30 years, Bjorn and Benny still had to be convinced. There was no kind of, oh yeah, whatever you want. So, yeah, it took another while, but I was very proud of Mamma, Here We Go Again. I mean, and to have Cher and everyone. There's something about the movie which is also reflected on the stage, that those actors feel they're kind of in a rep company, because they all everyone works so brilliantly together on a Greek island, literally. When we shot the first film, second film was Croatia, but it was meant to be a Greek island.
Oh, well, because they're so invested in the characters, and that's a great tribute to Katherine Johnson and the way that you all shape those characters as well. Who's connected with it? There's somebody connected with the third film. Throw us some crumbs here.
Oh, there's no. Well,
who's been talked about, or who have you talked about?
No, I mentioned dream casting would be to bring Sabrina Carpenter as a Greek goddess, but.
And you're doing a biopic on Cher. This is going to be a film, I gather, right?
A film, yes, not a musical.
Not a musical.
I mean, obviously, it has a lot of music because it's her life, and not just her music, other music. Yeah. So.
You're great pals with Cher. What do you like about her?
Well, we met on the movie. We'd actually met before the movie because I did approach her to play Tanya, and she said no. And she then says, well, it's lucky I did because I wouldn't have come back as Ruby. Well, she's, a legend, icon, and incredible, and, I think has had an incredible life and is such an inspiration. And as a woman, she's still kicking ass.
Kicking ass. That's the aspect that you're sure to cover in the biopic. You're still kicking ass yourself, Judy.
Yeah, well, I won't even say her age, but I've got to get to, yeah, exactly. You have to. It's the only way to stay young.
I mean, from this woman who was leading a very sad life, maybe flippantly, in a small flat in London, to this sort of phenomenal success. I think the only regret that you've expressed so far is that you're not quite as free-spirited as you were in your days as a rock chick, palling around with rock stars in London. Do you miss that free-spiritedness?
I have my moments.
Oh, well, as I can attest to the fact that you're still a lot of fun.
I have a big business to run. I think we have a lot of love for the show, and the show, it's wonderful the way New York has a lot of love for the show. So, no, I'll never give up.
26 years later, you're still in the West End.
Very much.
14 years on Broadway, not too shabby. Well, we all know that Broadway musicals are either snake-bitten and nothing goes right, or they're star-kissed and some of them go very, very right. So congratulations on your star-kissed musical.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's great to be back here.
And thank you for joining us for the first episode of Season 8. We look forward to bringing you more fascinating conversations with the creative talents who live and work only to astonish us. All episodes are available on the CUNY TV app and on YouTube. I'm Patrick Pacheco.